Buenas and half a day. The Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture is now called to order. Today's Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024, and the time is about 8:42 a.m. In compliance with the Open Government Law, notice for this public hearing was published in the Guam Daily Post and posted to the Government of Guam Public Notice Portal on Monday, August 26, 2024, and Friday, August 30, 2024. Notice was also sent by email to all senators and all main media broadcasting outlets. The hearing is being live streamed on the Guam Legislature's YouTube channel. The hearing today at 8:30 a.m. is for the reappointment of Anita F. Orlino and the reappointment of Maria G. Cruz and the reappointment of Ronald F. Eclavea to serve as members of the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission. Each of these is for a term of 4 years from date of confirmation. All right, we are scheduled to go back into the remainder of our session this morning around 9, so we might have to cut our hearing short. I'm just going to give you notice now that when we have a quorum over there, we will cut this short, and you might have to come back. We will reschedule it to 9:30 a.m. We're expecting our session to be short, so hopefully 9:30 a.m. we will continue with whatever we don't finish right now. All right. The powers and duties of the Ancestral Land Commission include to direct and establish and maintain 5 separate registries for the purposes of recording information in the settlement of ancestral claims. The Original Landowners Registry is a listing of all lands taken under the names of owners of record at the time of taking whose properties were confiscated or condemned by the United States of America or by the government of Guam on or after January 1, 1930, as well as other pertinent location and ownership information in relation to the property. The Original Landowners Registry shall be used for the purpose of confirming an applicant's property claim for future extinguishment upon receipt of just compensation as defined by this chapter. The second is the Excess Lands Registry. It's a listing of all lands declared excess by the federal government or the government of Guam, including all lands that may be declared excess in the future by the government of Guam. The Excess Lands Registry shall be used for the purpose of identifying a specified lot or lots of land with which the Commission may use as just compensation in extinguishing ancestral claims. Third is the Claims Registry, a listing of all claims to ancestral title filed by applicants. Fourth, the Conditional Awards Registry, a listing of conditional awards of just compensation. Fifth is the Ancestral Title Registry. The Ancestral Title Registry is a listing of applicants granted land title in return for the surrender of all their ancestral property claims. In establishing these 5 registries, the Commission shall investigate, record, file, report, and respond to requests by ancestral land claimants for remedy, including Government of Guam, whose land was taken by the U.S. or by the Government of Guam on or after January 1, 1930. Remedy includes just compensation as defined in 80101, which for purposes of this chapter is defined as limited to the return of land or access to landlocked lots across public lands if public lands block access to private property. The Commission established, according to the AAA law, written procedures for extinguishment of the claims and for all of their duties. The Commission shall promulgate rules and regs to administer the Commission's functions in a fair, just, economical, and expedient way, and shall establish fees and specify materials reasonably required to accompany applications in order to extinguish a claim in favor of a just compensation award. All future lands received by Government of Guam declared excess for entry into the Excess Lands Registry. The commission shall ensure that all information pertaining to excess lands, both current and future, are sent to the commission for entry into the excess lands registry by the Director of Land Management. The commission shall maintain and give the public the right to review the excess lands registry. The commission shall take title as trustees of former Spanish crown lands and other non-ancestral lands that are conveyed by the federal government to the government of Guam on behalf of ancestral landowners who, by virtue of continued government or public benefit use, cannot regain possession or title to their ancestral lands. They shall establish a Guam-based trust to administer these assets and revenues of the land bank of the aforementioned lands and manage the lands and act as developer of the lands, if necessary, to the highest and best use. The commission shall establish rules and regs pursuant to the administrative adjudication law for the Guam-based trust. The resulting income shall be used to provide just compensation for those dispossessed ancestral landowners. The commission shall ensure all parties whose interests may be affected in the extinguishment of an ancestral claim are notified through public notice. All right. So we're going to begin with the reappointment of Anita F. Orlino, if you can come up. And if there's anyone here who'd like to testify on behalf of Anita Orlino, please come and testify. We have received written testimony from John T. Birch, Executive Director of the Comisión y Tanu Sainata. Would you be testifying on his behalf? Okay, please proceed. If anyone else would like to testify on behalf of Anita or Orlino, please proceed to the table. If not, we'll hear the testimony from the director.
Buenas and half a day. My name is Catherine Blas. I am the acting executive director of the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission. Buenas and half a day. This morning, I'd like to read the testimony written by our director, John Birch. His testimony is in support of the reappointment of Anita F. Orlino, Maria G. Cruz, and Ronald F. Eclavea. I am honored to offer my support for the reappointment of Commissioner Anita F. Orlino, Secretary Treasurer Maria G. Cruz, and Chairman Ronald F. Eclavea to serve on the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission. Their unwavering dedication and profound commitment to the well-being of the Chamorro people have been instrumental in advancing the preservation and progress of our ancestral lands. Over the past 2 decades, since their inception in 2003, Anita F. Orlino, Maria G. Cruz, and Ronald F. Eclavea has exemplified extraordinary leadership and profound understanding of the historical and cultural importance of ancestral lands. Their collective experience and continued service make them invaluable assets to the Commission. Beyond their professional achievements, these individuals exhibit genuine compassion and empathy toward their community. They actively engage in local organizations and community members, tirelessly striving to address concerns and find equitable solutions. Their inclusive approach fosters dialogue and ensures that the diverse voices of our community are heard and respected. In endorsing the reappointment of Anita F. Orlino, Maria G. Cruz, and Ronald F. Eclavea to the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission, I express my full confidence in their abilities to lead effectively. I believe that their continued guidance will propel the Commission toward fulfilling its mission of safeguarding ancestral lands and promoting the cultural heritage of our community for the future generations. I urge you to consider my testimony in support of their nomination, confident that their reappointment will greatly benefit the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission and the people it serves. Thank you for your attention. Sizus Masi, John T. Birch.
Sizus Masi, Acting Director, and please extend my thanks to the Director, Mr. Birch. Is there anyone else who would like to testify on behalf of any of the nominees this morning? Okay, because of our short time, I would like to take those testifying first. And all right, well, now here, Ms. Orlino, do you have any testimony this morning?
I don't have. Just go ahead if there's any question. Buenas anafade,
Buenas.
namaguf na ani.
Jesus Masi. Okay. According to the packet, it looks like you are a current board member, of course. You took the ethics training in 2020. You also are a member of the Ladies Auxiliary Post Veterans of Foreign Wars, JIGO, and treasurer of that organization. And I want to thank you for accepting this appointment. I'm going to ask you a couple questions for the record, if that's okay with you. Do you have any continuing business interests that may be a conflict of interest for you to continue as a member of the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission?
No, I do not.
Have you been able to balance your responsibilities on the commission with your other responsibilities?
Yes, I have, and that's my main focus. I try to keep it on that part, make sure that I'm there when there's a call, and I'm willing to, be there all the time.
Have you suggested any steps that the board should do differently in these past, or recently, in order to improve, to fulfill its mandates?
Yes, we do, and certainly I try to really research and look into the matter before any decisions made.
Appreciate that. Are you familiar with the 5 registries, and would you say that the Ancestral Lands Commission is fulfilling its mandate on all 5 of those?
Yes, they do, definitely. It's a must, and that's one of the particular that we instill within the GALC.
And what about, are you keeping track of the returned lands or the future the excess lands or the future excess lands?
Yes, we definitely depend on our researcher, the land agent, and the other department within to appraise us of, the excess land.
All right, now I've got some more questions that I'm going to try to finish with you, and then we're going to do these with the other nominees, probably at 9:30, okay? So, would you support returning to in-person meetings to encourage more engagement with landowners?
Yes, definitely.
Were landowners engaged in the discussion of the sale of Eda Agaga, which the Ancestral Lands Commission agreed to via Resolution 2023-004 to have appraised and approved a license? I think this was during the August 9 meeting.
No, particularly I've heard, I've read, but really with the Agaga, I know that there are landowners over there. In particular, my father's one of them, so, we await for the decisions, and but I like to look more into it.
So when the commission, as a commissioner, and when the commission agreed to have it appraised and approved for a license, did you as a commissioner engage the landowners in that meeting?
More than likely, I think they did, and what went on was, it's more of a, like, in after of the land, we just wait and listen and get results from the discussions over those land issue.
All right. What is your understanding of the status of the Ancestral Lands Master Plan?
Well, the master plan goes on, and what we do, especially that we have a very good researcher, one of the employees there, and they let us know what's going on, and we discuss, and then we, work together.
What would you, what do you have plans, does the Ancestral Lands Commission have plans for the Crown lands? For example, when Eda Agaga came up, the Ancestral Lands Commission agreed to the sale, and I want to know what in your Ancestral Lands Master Plan, are there other sales of your inventory planned? And do you condone that sale of Crown lands?
I believe that that's pending, and I'm not really sure. I know I learned about the price on those things, but I'm not really sure the outcome.
All right. Do you favor the sale of Crown lands in the Ancestral Lands Inventory?
No, I do not, definitely. My intentions in and within the GLC is to return those land back to the landowners, and also with our Crown lands, that we try to compensate those landowners whose lands they'll never realize, and that's what I'm there for. And I want to see that where they actually return the land and compensate those that would never receive their land, those lands that are still under the federal and also with the government occupying it. We need to really look into that matter.
All right, maybe we'll continue for just a few more minutes. I have a few more questions, Ms. Arlino. So there was there's been a debate over the years, maybe decades now, as to, well, the law says who should be compensated from the use of the Crown lands, right, from your trust fund. Who should be compensated? There was a discussion by board members in previous years. There's also a bill by the governor that should change. The issue is that what the compensation for ancestral landowners who even the government will not receive that land back. It was, I think, testified earlier that we would not be able to compensate them with the current inventory, but I'm not clear on that, and I'd like to know, do you believe under the current statute and your current inventory, meaning under the current statute, those who are by statute supposed to be compensated, those the government of Guam kept their lands, such as the Tizon Airport lands, do you believe your inventory is enough to compensate those landowners?
At present, not all of them, but I believe that with the Crown land, the leases and all those, I believe that there are two classes of that. One that, have been returned, and the other part is those that would not realize their land. I believe they should be compensated all. And I believe also that when it's returned, it goes back again to the original landowner. That's my belief, because back then, when they took those land, on or before January 1930, it's unjust.
Is it, just a second. Does the commission hire the executive director?
Yes, we do.
Are you aware, so there were meetings with, we received testimony that there were private meetings with Eaglesfield landowners where the director of the Guam Ancestral Land Commission advised the landowners that they would never receive their land back based on a legal opinion on Public Law 106504, written by Gita's lawyer, and verbal legal advice from other lawyers, including the governor's legal counsel, and it looks like former members of the Attorney General's office. And the director advised those landowners that he did not have this in writing. Did you, as a commissioner, concur with this opinion? Were you aware that those lands were on the excess lands list submitted by the Secretary of the Navy to the Governor of Guam?
You mean the Eaglesfield at that time when they
Yes.
proposed to build the hospital?
Correct.
Those land? To my understanding, you were asking if the director was present at that time?
Yeah, well, we heard testimony that he was. My question to you is, do you concur with this telling landowners that they would never receive their land back based on legal opinions from a Gita lawyer and verbal legal advice from some other lawyers, one of the governor's office, and not
No,
clear?
I'm not aware. I'm not sure, and I won't concur to that because I'm also, my father's a part owner of the certain property in Eaglesfield, the inside. And when they proposed that, it's taken a whole lot, like over 100 acres, and that's comprised of the Eaglefield as it stands right now. And we own about 2 to 3 lots in there. And they did call us in and telling us that that will be the
You're
best
saying
way.
called you in as a landowner, but not as a commissioner.
No.
As a commissioner, so one of your duties is to, all of you, your duties are to ensure that, you are aware of lands slated for return and those that may be returned in the future. And it was my experience during some of these hearings regarding, we had a hearing one time just to update the potential return of lands and what is the status, and we went through the lists, and I remember I met with many of you as to, here are the lists. These are the lands that they are saying are excess and that the government of Guam has said are excess and the military has agreed are excess, and these will be returned sometime, and this should be entered into your lists and your discussions. And then there are those that we're still, I guess, negotiating with the Department of Defense for return of, but that the government of Guam has also suggested should be excess, should be declared excess. Are you familiar with this process, the excess lands? And you must be because you've been on this commission.
Yes, we have a listing in our
okay.
office of those.
Of which
Yes.
ones?
Yes, possible return.
Okay, possible returns,
Yes,
all
we
right.
have a listing of those.
Okay, so you were aware that Eaglesfield was on that list?
At the beginning, yes.
Okay, thank you. What are your thoughts on how to assure that the Ancestral Lands Commission does not increase its risk of potential bad debt, such as what happened with the Northern Market before you made a different agreement with them, I guess?
Well, we really have to look into it, and if we need be dissolve the lease, because we try to be nice, and we try to help out, especially our local businesses, and that's one thing that we look into. We try to move it. We try to help it, and whatever they ask, we try to all work together and see if we could make something good out of it. I know it's a long and a lot of you know, what you call that, missing of payments, but I believe it's going to work out.
All right, but in the future, how do we prevent the ancestral lands from getting into debt, or your lessees from getting into debt like that?
Well, we have to work and work with them and make sure, look into the matter often, not once a year. You have to look into it constantly and, you know, help them out. And if they are in a bad situation for themselves, they have to come and let us know so that we could help them out, or, you know, they could help us out too.
All right, thank you. I'd like to thank my colleague, Senator Roy Kanata, for being here today. So this is the nomination of Anita Orlino, and the others are still pending because of time. I was suggesting we're going to recess this and come back at 9:30 for the other two. But did you have any questions for Ms. Orlino or the executive director who has testified this morning?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Certainly, just really want to see that we move forward with the situations, right? But you're just saying that I was watching on my way down here. I know that you guys are still trying to litigate all the situations out. It does take a long time, unfortunately. But just want to thank you guys for your hard work, and let me know if you guys need any assistance. My office stands ready to support in any way. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Mrs. Usmasi. Thank you again, and my apologies that we have to cut this hearing short. We will recess until 9:30. Hopefully that we will be done with session at that time, but I can't guarantee. But that's, so I'm gonna announce that we will reconvene this, we're recess, and we will reconvene at 9:30 to continue with the nominations hearing, confirmation hearing. Ms. Orlino, you are completed, so you are free to go. So
Just Masi.
again, thank you again for your service all these years, and thank you for your willingness to serve again on this commission. And thank you to your acting director and Cesar Usmasi. Okay,
Thank you.
everyone. This will be recessed.